Hey guys, All in Crypto here and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. I hope you're all having a fantastic week so far. Today guys, we're going to be jumping into Cardano. We're going to be taking a little look at Bitcoin, as we know that Bitcoin is really the permissioner in the space. If it decides to sell off, usually it will bring the market with it, and vice versa. If it decides to go on a run, the market will kind of run alongside it. We're also going to be talking about what's going on with Cardano right now and the fact that you actually have projects leaving Ethereum or projects that are set to leave Ethereum and come over to Cardano. And we're going to talk about this because I say this with a heavy heart. You guys know, even though we can be quite down on Ethereum, it is one of my biggest holdings. It's in my top 3 right along with Cardano. And I want the project to succeed, Ethereum. However, they are failing in more ways than one. And it's very sad for me to watch Ethereum eat itself from the inside out. The gas fees are just unworkable. You know, for DeFi, it's killing innovation. We're going to get into it in this video. Also, guys, I created a Twitter page for those of you who want to follow me for some more timely updates. I'm going to post a lot more frequently on here. I try and stay off social media as much as possible because I believe it is just a completely fake world. And I can't stand to watch people bragging about their lives when I know that it is far-fetched from reality. So I try and stay in the real world as possible. However, for the sake of this channel, which is growing at a rapid rate, I've created a Twitter and we're going to be posting feed on there daily for you to have more timely updates. So without further ado, guys, and if you're wondering why I look like Elton John today, it's because these are typically the glasses. Well, these aren't. I couldn't find my other ones, which are a little bit more uniform, if you will. But these are glasses that I use when I'm reading because I happen to be dyslexic, and also when I'm looking at screens all the time. It helps kind of break the glare of the screen to my actual eyeballs, so it kind of, you know, a bit easier on the eyes. So you're gonna have to bear with it. I've not changed and decided I want to start a music career. I'm still in the crypto space. So yeah, let's get into it, guys. So the market seems to be somewhat recovering. Cardano, guys, is coiling up, in my opinion. Now, I believe, and we recently just tweeted about it, that Cardano could potentially be coiling up because what you're doing, guys, is you're coming and you're hitting your head on significant resistance, but instead of selling off, you're actually coming and you're finding support levels that were previous resistance. And in yesterday's video, we called it to the T, guys, what was going to happen. This was yesterday's video, and we were right around here, and I essentially said, look, you found support here, you're finding this 50 EMA support. The likelihood is you're going to climb to the next level of support, which would be your 20 EMA. If you hold that, you are set for more continuation. Now, you did hold it. You came up to kind of test these previous levels of resistance. You are in a slight downtrend, but it's only on a very short time frame, and this can be broken. Now, what I believe Cardano is doing, and the other tweet that I put out today kind of summed it up. Ultimately, Cardano was up like 120% from its lows. You're just cooling off right now, guys. I mean, you've got to expect pullbacks like this today. I mean, at one point you were, I think, 16% down. You know, you're just essentially cooling off. And what you're doing is you're coiling up here. You're getting held by support, but rejecting off resistance levels, ready for a bit of an impulse. That's what I believe. Now, how am I wrong in that? Well, essentially, you'll start failing these support levels. So right now, your 20 acts in support, you fail that, you're probably going to your 50. You fail that, you're coming back to this previous swing high. Now, this is something that you don't, this area here, you don't want to fall below because then you're going to your next target and your next. So we want to make sure that we stay in a kind of healthy trend. Now, ultimately, guys, I'm a macro bull or a perma bull on something like Cardano and crypto as a whole. I think this technology is only going one way, and that's up. I think the cryptos involved in this kind of technological revolution are going to do exceptionally well and accrue value as a result of it. So I'm ultimately a perma bull. So Cardano could actually sell off and come back to some of these previous resistance levels. We wouldn't want to see it. But ultimately, you know, we can address that situation when it comes. It's not the end of the world. But ultimately, I'm still staying on the bias. And right now, I essentially think that Cardano is coiling up, ready for a kind of retest of these all-time highs. If we go through them, expect to go through them, come back, retest them before setting up for more structure. We still think you are definitely, or not, I shouldn't say definitely, guys, but we still think there is a high likelihood of the run-up to the Alonzo hard fork taking us to around about that $4 to $5 range. That's still on the table, in my opinion. Now, what I do as a trader, and I mean, I'm not really a trader, I'm more of a swing trader, but really just a macro investor. I love crypto. I've been here for 4 years. It's not my full-time job by any means. I still own a business in the healthcare sector. However, you know, I am somewhat transitioning to crypto. I always look for previous structure that's set up. So what I do is I look for when we've kind of rejected off previous resistance levels and what happens. And you can see here, guys, even though it plays out in a different kind of fashion, you come down, you make these lows. After this rejection here, you go and you sell below all your EMAs before finding support, breaking up, coming up and testing it again. Can you see how, what I'm looking for here is structure that's already played out, and I'm applying it to the current day and saying, look, could this play out? Now there, you'll know very quickly if you're wrong because it will take a different turn. And ultimately what I'd like to see, guys, is a bit of a coiling up here. Holding this EMA as support, because that would confirm to me that you are going to get the breakout. That's what we're waiting for right now, guys. I do, my bias is that, you know, new all-time highs are around the corner. Could be a matter of days away. And now that, is, of course, is largely dependent on Bitcoin. And we're going to jump into Bitcoin right now, guys, before then moving on to this kind of interesting topic of projects moving from Ethereum to Cardano. Bitcoin actually looks healthy. It's doing much the same thing. You know, Bitcoin, I think, was 63%, 64, nearly 65%. From this kind of low. So it's done very well, and of course you're going to have pullbacks along the way, and it's moving in this beautiful wave-like structure where it's coming up, hitting resistance, rejecting, before then finding a base, setting up, ready to attack it again. And I think a similar thing is going to happen today, guys. If you look, like what I just said to you guys about when I look for previous structure that's already played out and how it, you know, if it follows a similar kind of pattern, there could be quite a high likelihood that it's going to play out again. You can see how similar these moves are, guys. You really can. You come up, you just about pierce below, above your resistance, you come back below it, you find your support before then impulsing next. And you could be doing that right now, guys. Look how you come below your EMAs, both the 20 and the 50, you form a cross, which could be coming right now, before you then impulse to the upside. And I do believe that we are now in an uptrending market. And I think that to bet against that is rather stupid. And we've been largely right, like our Cardano call yesterday. We very much timed and given you the direction of this market. And how we do that is because we look for structure. We're a probability-based swing trader, although I don't recommend anybody trades the cryptocurrency market because it is an extremely treacherous place. And ultimately, I think for the majority of you, just buying and hodling is going to serve you far, far more. I've not even liked my own video here, guys. Far, far more than if you decide to trade this market. You will lose money. Most traders do lose money, and that's because they haven't got a clue what they're doing. I've lost money as a trader. It's not a nice feeling. For your mental health, buy, hodl, and you will win in the long run, because this is a space that is still very early in its evolution, and it is going to, you know, accrue value as a result of that. You know, it's a real technological revolution that's going on here, guys. I'm in talks with a number of different projects in the Cardano ecosystem. Very excited. Hopefully I can get some interviews out of those for you guys, because ultimately the future looks like Cardano. Now let's talk, and this was a tweet. This is a useful thing about, I've always used Twitter to get information, but never really used it. This was a tweet from Dan Gambardello. He's got to be Italian. I just heard about Ethereum DeFi projects who just started hiring multiple developers who have gone through the Plutus program, which is the Cardano program. Why? Because after burning a ridiculous 300k in gas just to test their platform, they are now ready to move to Cardano. This seems inevitable to me, guys. There was an article ages ago that I went over with you guys where Charles Hoskinson essentially said 100 companies looking to migrate from Ethereum to Cardano. We know that Cardano have been very aggressive in their ERC20 converter, so you convert your ERC20 tokens over to Ethereum. Why are they doing this? Because Ethereum's fees absolutely suck. Not only that, it's slow in retrospect to other blockchains. You know, Algorand, Cardano, Solana, these are very, very fast blockchains that are cheap. Binance Smart Chain, whereas Ethereum sucks. This is the kind of typical gas fees that you've got. Just to transfer an ERC20 token, like Compound or Chainlink or whatever it is, you've got a fee of around about, a high end is $9, low end is $8.13. So if you're sending $100, you're losing about 10% of it to the gas fees for miners to validate your transaction. That's without going and putting a ridiculous tip to have it sort of done fastly. To swap something on Uniswap, the low end you're looking at $25 and you're looking at $28 on the high end. This completely kills a whole customer group from actually getting involved in DeFi, because there's a lot of people out there that only have $100 to play with every month. Why would they get into an early token that's an ERC20 on Uniswap when if they have $100 and they're spending 25% of it just to get into a project? It doesn't make any sense. It's heartbreaking for me, guys, as somebody who's been in Ethereum for 4 years now. I actually owned Ethereum before I owned Cardano. I've said that from the start. I've been with this project. I'm a big fan of Vitalik Buterin and the developers, Justin Drake, etc., etc. But the current state is just, you can't compete with Cardano when they have smart contracts. I believe that. There's no argument to be had there, guys. I'm still a fan of Ethereum. I still hold my Ethereum. It's in my top 3 along with Cardano. But it's sad what's going on right now, guys. And I'm sure you can hear the pain in my voice when I say that. It's just completely wasted money, and it's unworkable for a lot of people. You know, I use Compound, I use a lot of the DeFi space, I use Aave, which is slightly better because they have, well, it's a lot better because they have a layer 2 Polygon integration with Aave. But it sucks. The gas fees absolutely suck, and they need to do something about it. And EIP 1559 has done good things for the tokenomics, perhaps, of Ethereum, because we know that there's a large amount, I think over $160 million worth of Ethereum has been burnt. It's going to be a lot more than that now. But essentially, the gas fees actually went up on the day of it, and they've not come down significantly at all. It's hard for me to hold Ethereum right now when you've got projects like Cardano and, you know, Algorand and, you know, things like Radix, which is supposed to be a layer 1, or Radix, whatever you want to get. It's very hard for me to hold it. I'm going to stick with the project. I'm not going to sell my Ethereum. But the reason I didn't stake in the Beacon chain was because I had no idea how long Ethereum 2 was going to be. To me, there's no clear answer. And I understand that it's a very complex process. But we have something like Cardano that's coming out with smart contracts on the 12th of September. Yes, they are slightly later than perhaps Charles had imagined, but they aren't 10 years, what am I about? They're not like 2-3 years down the line late. You know, they're still pretty much on the money. So that's really all I have for you in this video, guys. The market looks healthy. It looks to be recovering slightly. Ultimately, guys, there's always 2 scenarios that can play out, and that is that you sell off or you go forward. And ultimately, my bias is that we are now in an uptrending market. You know, you are setting up structure. You could potentially be coiling up right here and setting up similar structure to what you did here before you then get that break. And ultimately, Bitcoin looks to be repeating a similar structure. Now, just because something's happened before, and this is a comment that I get regularly, doesn't mean it's going to happen again. You're correct. But if you look at a balance of probability, and trading really is just a probability-based game, you know, what has a higher probability of paying off, structure tends to repeat. You know, if you look at Elliott wave theory, you look at you know, Fibonacci levels and stuff like that. There's a kind of ebb and flow to markets, and you really want to look for structure and structure that's setting up. So even if we did sell off, guys, ultimately all it's a case of is looking for new structure, looking for potential support levels to come in. So if Cardano, for example, decided to break this one, bumped off here, broke this one, bumped off here, broke this one, bumped off here, you would perhaps find a level of resistance, and then you set up for more continuation. And this would actually play quite perfectly in to the cup and handle that we drew. But ultimately, guys, things look healthy to me. You know, we're not worried. I mean, I'm just scribbling all over the charts there recklessly. But things look good. Things look good, and we're very excited for what the future holds. I'll quickly, very, very quickly play for you the update that we've got coming on the end of the month, the last Thursday of every month, and then I'm going to love and leave you on that note, ladies and gentlemen. So without further ado, I'll play this and then we'll wrap the video up. So go give me a follow on Twitter, guys. Real All In Crypto. Where are we? At Real All In Crypto is the Twitter handle. So go give me a follow. I could do with it, guys. I've got 51 followers so far. I don't know if that's good or bad. But we're getting about 2 likes on a post. We only created it 2 days ago so that we could start interacting with some of the developers on different projects. So that's all I have for you guys. So let's play the video. I'm going to love and leave you on that note. Hopefully you've all had a fantastic day, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next Cardano update video.
Join us with the summit coming in September. It'll be a shorter show than usual, but we'll bring you the latest on the Alonzo smart contracts rollout, news from Project Catalyst and the community, partner updates, and more. So make sure you join us Thursday, August the 26th.
So that's that, guys. Get ready for August the 26th, I think you said. I'm going to love and leave you. Market seems to be recovering. Everything looks healthy, guys. There's not really that much to report. This is a real thing that projects are going to migrate over from Ethereum to Cardano, and it's just because Ethereum can't compete. And this is a super bullish thing for Ethereum. Maybe I will show you my MetaMask just to show you just how much gas fees I've paid in the lifetime that I've had on a couple of different MetaMasks, different wallets that I own. It's ridiculous, and it's sad because it's just wasted money, in my opinion, that I could have invested into some of these smaller projects. That's all I have for you guys. I'm going to love and leave you on that note. Hopefully you've all had a fantastic day, like I've previously said about 6 times now. And I hopefully will see you in the next one. If you enjoyed the content, like us, it's appreciated. So as a comment, I'll catch you in the next one, guys.